So look at this, there's a bump right.
This is Protect the Den, produced in Orem, Utah, and found on YouTube, Twitter, and all podcast locations.
White, oh my sword,
Here are your hosts, Jarod, Ivins, and Brice, Larson. We welcome you in to Protect the Den. We're very excited to be here this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. I'm your host, Jarod Ivins, alongside the beautiful
Brice Larson.
He's gorgeous. One of my longtime best friends. We have Joe Trujillo, production and directing on the set today, so we're excited to have Joe as well. And yeah, we have a great show today on this beautiful cold day. It's actually very cold
17 degrees outside.
Yeah, I was on my way to work this morning.
But we got some good news.
And I had my
signing day.
longboard, and it was freezing.
Yeah.
And my tears would come off my eyes and freeze right here. And then they'd slowly build. It was, anyways. Lead us in with our show rundown today, Brice.
All right, we're going to start out with the UVU sports headlines. Then we're going to run into the Wolverine of the week, and we have great topics for you today. Colby Leifson transferring to UVU.
That happened this morning, like an hour ago.
Yeah, very fresh off the press right there. We're going to talk about our initial thoughts and what this does for this UVU Hoops team.
Definitely.
After that, we're going to talk a little bit about the relationship between UVU and BYU. There's been a lot of transfers, a lot of, there's a relationship between
coaches,
universities.
Players, proximity to each other.
We're going to talk about that as well today.
Students.
And for our final topic of the day, we're going to talk about UVU baseball.
When was the last time we talked about baseball? On this show, season. Probably never.
We've got less than a week till baseball season. Softball starts tomorrow.
Let's fish and go, dude. I'm excited. Right. We're going to finish it off with our bold predictions, Seattle U edition. So let's jump right in with our headlines. Men's basketball. Mark Madsen has announced the transfer of guard Colby Leifson from BYU to UVU. He'll sit out the remainder of the 2019-2020 season. But he should be good to go next fall. UVU hosts Seattle this Saturday, the 8th, at 2 p.m. in the UCCU Center, televised on the WAC Digital Network. But we don't care whether it's televised or produced. We need you there in the UCCU Center.
Gotta be there. Gotta get loud.
Attendance needs to be 5,000 plus, or else I'm not satisfied.
Yeah. All right, baseball. Mick Madsen.
No, this is not
Mark Madsen, but Mick Madsen.
It's not his son either.
I don't know if they're related.
They might be. Yeah, he's born to Eric. That's not Mark.
Maybe. But Mick Madsen has been named to the preseason all-WAC team. He led the team at the plate last year with a .352 conference-only batting average. So that wasn't the full season, just conference.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good batting average, if you ask.
Yeah. Softball kicks off the season tomorrow in Mexico in the Puerto Vallarta Challenge. Just to give some context, right now in Orem, Utah, it is 25 degrees. In Puerto Vallarta, it is 72.
It's warm.
They're very lucky. I would love to be in Puerto Vallarta right now. I'm actually going in April. While in Mexico, the Lady Wolverines will play 4 games. They'll play two on Thursday tomorrow against George Washington and Oregon, 1 on Friday versus Nevada, and their last game in Mexico will be against Long Beach State. So those will be broadcast on flowsoftball.com. Invite you to check those out. I think it's $10 for the subscription.
Yeah, 10.
Be able to watch those 4 games, like $2.50 for a game. It's not bad.
Yeah,
$3.
It's not bad. Wrestling, they lost a close match against North Dakota State, 20-15 the other night. Last week's Big 12 Conference Wrestler of the Week and 14th ranked Taylor Lamont recorded another upset victory for the Wolverines on the night by knocking off number 7 Cam Sikora.
Look, Taylor's on fire.
Yeah, he's been wrestling a lot. He's been scoring a lot of points for the Wolverines, especially with these upsets. It's been awesome.
Huge, wrestler of the week for the Big 12.
So
very
my question
tough
is
conference.
now, are they actually upsets?
If he's so good.
He's been doing it for the last 2 weeks.
UVU is not the best wrestling team, but
Taylor Lamont himself
is really good on the team.
Yeah.
I think they're saying it's an upset because he's 14th ranked. Cam Sikora was 7th.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is that should he really be ranked 14th at this
Well,
point?
Taylor should obviously
Is
be
it
ranked
really an
higher than
upset?
that. I don't know. We'll see. Good job, Taylor Lamont. We're very proud of you. Very hyped. Keep winning. Keep destroying those guys. For men's soccer, the real UVU football team.
Mm-hmm.
Head coach Greg Moss has announced 2 more signings for the Utah Valley University men's soccer season. Eric Lyons is a grad transfer from St. Mary's, and Shea Wirt. They've both signed letters of intent and will join the Wolverines for this fall.
Happy National Signing Day.
Turning up. Lyons was on St. Mary's last year when they finished as the only unbeaten team in an entire country.
That's
Division I.
impressive.
That's really good. This is what Coach Moss had to say. He said, Eric is a skillful defender with tremendous athleticism, and he is a determined and proven winner. Really great to hear from Coach Moss going, especially, we need that winning mentality and that experience that he's had going into the season.
Yeah.
Also, Shea Wirt is a 6'2" goalkeeper from Kansas.
Overland Park, Kansas.
You know Kansas.
Yeah.
You love Kansas.
Just outside of Kansas City. Overland Park.
Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri?
Kansas City, Kansas.
Because to some,
To some, it is in Kansas, but okay.
Overall-
half of the city, the bigger part of the city is in Missouri.
well, they're Super Bowl
Smaller
champs.
part
Let's
of
just
the-
go with
the
they're
city
Super Bowl
is in
champs,
Kansas.
dog.
So technically, he wasn't wrong.
He was the 5A Kansas State goalkeeper of the year. So that's a huge pickup. I'm thinking as a goalie, you want someone massive. Like cover a lot of area,
Yeah.
able to jump high. So
Athletic.
6'2". We're very excited for Lions and also for Wirt. Very good job.
It's going to be a good soccer team next year. Let's jump right into our Wolverine of the Week this week. Monday, we obviously didn't have one, but today is Wednesday. Since it is Wolverine Wednesday, we're going to go right into that. This week's Wolverine of the Week is none other than previous men's basketball standout,
Ben Nakwaasah. It's interesting. Ben Nakwaasah, he's not a current UVU athlete, which we kind of had, some discussion in deciding with Ben Nakwaasah because, he doesn't go to UVU, but he did go to UVU. He was an amazing athlete and basketball player.
Yeah.
And he deserves it.
Mm-hmm. He just barely signed a pro contract with Kosovo. Whatever. Basketball Super League
Joe,
team.
what is it? Kosovo or Kosovo? Okay,
No.
this guy.
Super League team KB Ponte. Bear with me here. Prizreni in Prizren, Kosovo. Kosovo.
That's a big team name.
It's close to Ukraine, I think.
The biggest. Well, see, my grandparents actually served their mission there
Oh, there we are.
in Kosovo and Bosnia, Herzegovina. I have a good friend who knows a girl that's currently serving there.
We'll put a map up for you so you can see.
We'll do our best. It's right here. Nakwaasah helped lead the Wolverines to a pair of second-place finishes in the WAC while he was here and 2 straight national postseason appearances. So, Ben Nakwaasah, we're very proud, very excited for your contract going forward. And go turn some heads and play some amazing basketball.
Jarod will buy you a T-shirt.
I really will. I love buying T-shirts, including this shirt that I bought. Do you consider this a T-shirt or a polo?
That's a polo.
Are they not the same thing?
Nope. One is for dads and the other one is for stylish teenagers.
Well, I'm not a dad and I'm not a stylist.
Let's jump right into topic 1. Colby Leifson announced his transfer to UVU from BYU this morning, actually. What do we think? What are our initial thoughts? Is this good for UVU? Is this bad for UVU? How does it play out?
This is huge for UVU going forward. UVU has shot terribly from outside the arc. They're 29%
Once
from
again,
3.
18% against Cal Baptist last week.
29% on the year from 3-point shooting land. I mean, let me stand in the corner and hook up shots. And that's obviously not what we want to do. We want to play team basketball. But hopefully, and the reason that Colby Leifson is coming is because he can fix this. He's a 6'4 guard from Georgia who in high school averaged 17 points per game. He shot 41% from the three, and he made 93% of his free throws. So he was a 50-40-90, 90-50-40 kind of guy.
He played his freshman year at BYU. He only got in about like 21, 26 games, somewhere there. And he didn't play a lot. It was mostly just cleanup time, didn't have a lot of stats. So after that, he went on his mission, came back and decided BYU wasn't for him, shopped around, entered the transfer portal.
He announced his transferring in October, that he would open his recruitment.
Yep, and then Mark Madsen came in and swooped after he was hired. And I guess he announced his transfer this morning. So this is a big get. I personally think it's going to help next year's UVU team a lot, being able to add another dude that can shoot the ball beyond the arc.
Yeah. Much needed. He made 93 threes as a senior, which is second all-time in Gwinnett County history in Georgia.
93 threes.
This guy's a bucket.
Yeah.
So, Colby, we have high expectations and high hopes, and we're very excited to have you join
And the
UVU.
best part about it is he will have 3 seasons of eligibility after sitting out the rest of this season. And then
played that first one.
Correct.
Yeah. Very, very good point. And, having Colby transfer from UVU, or to UVU from BYU, my apologies, we've kind of been thinking, what is the relationship between UVU and BYU? And do you like it? What are your thoughts, Brice?
I do like it. The two universities are so close to each other. And really the only sport, I shouldn't say the only sport. The biggest sport that this happens in is obviously basketball. We had Mark Pope that was here at UVU. And then he transfers and he takes a lot of his dudes. He gets hired at BYU and takes a lot of his dudes with him. Jake Toulson being one of them.
Also, coaches as well.
Yeah.
Cody Feger was an assistant coach at UVU. Now he's an assistant coach at BYU. So it's not just players, it's also coaches in that situation.
Yeah, and so it gives those players the option to stay local but still be able to play for a team that, is decent Division I team.
Yeah. I think it's a really, really good relationship, and they actually help each other. There obviously is a performance gap with UVU playing in the WAC and BYU playing in the West Coast Conference. And, these teams have even played each other a couple times over the last couple of years.
Yeah. And UVU beat BYU. That's one of the greatest things.
2016. It's not like it's 2004, 15, 16 years ago, or even the 1900s. This is 4 years ago, 3 seasons ago.
Right. And so it's actually adds to the competition. It adds to, the community, I would say.
100%. They did play last year. But the players that are good, but that maybe are not excelling at BYU are able to go to UVU, get more playing time.
Maybe it's just not the right fit for them.
And that could be based on coaches, environment, education, friends, culture. It's much more than just playing time, obviously. I do think playing time might be the biggest factor.
Yeah.
And maybe
playing
that'll
time,
happen with
coaches,
Colby.
And then I would say maybe the culture or environment they're in.
100%. But they're able to go to a less competitive conference, have more playing time, have more opportunities to show how good they are.
Yeah.
There are good players in the WAC that will play professional basketball. There are good players that, whether it's professional basketball in the NBA or the G League, or over in Europe, or in Kosovo, or in China. They're great players, and this gives all of these players this opportunity to play well and stay local. Lots of them have families around here.
Exactly. Yep, and that rounds out our second topic of the day. If you have any feedback for us, let us know what you guys think. We want to know your thoughts always. Hit us up on Twitter. We're there on Instagram. Anywhere you see, even drop a comment down on the comment box.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear what you think about this transfer to UVU. Just let us know, all right?
Yeah, join in with the hashtag on all those, hashtag protect the den or hashtag PTD, and we'll respond to you, feature you in the show, and we want to know if you think it's good that these players are going in between UVU and BYU.
Let's jump right into our third topic of the day. UVU baseball has been picked to finish 8th in a preseason poll by the WAC conference.
Yeah.
what do we think about this baseball team going into the season? Obviously, last year they finished 7th in the WAC. And then the front runner for the conference is Grand Canyon University.
Well, that's because they can play baseball year-round there. Did you know that?
Yeah, well, it would make sense. Arizona's a nice place.
It's warm. It's warm in Phoenix, and it's cold in Orem. How do you play baseball in Orem?
There's a reason why the MLB has one of their preseason leagues down there.
It's like all leagues. I think they have leagues
one in Florida, and they have one in the MLB. At least has spring training in Florida.
They do.
Arizona.
Some of my good friends that have played high school or collegiate baseball, they go to Arizona every year for training. I mean, in Phoenix right now, a beautiful 55 degrees.
That's not bad.
It's going to be 60 tomorrow, 68 on Friday.
Yeah. Saw the baseball
team I love
out
the weather.
practicing the other day when it was 55 degrees. Always got to take advantage of it.
Throw the ball. Well, I think my expectations for UVU baseball is that they will do better than 7th in the WAC.
All right.
They're predicted to finish 8th. They finished 7th last year, and my expectation is they finish 5th.
Okay.
Now, I'm not predicting that yet. We obviously don't know how the season's going to play out. We'll see kind of how the team works together, how the playing goes as well. But this is a good UVU team, some good athletes. Obviously not the performances in the past that they've wanted.
Right.
Or that they've gotten. But I do think that this is a good UVU baseball team with opportunities to finish well in the WAC. And if they don't, then something needs to change. Whether that's recruiting, coaching, or things like that. They should be top 5 in the WAC every year and no lower.
Yeah. That's a good point. This baseball team has the opportunity to prove their worth early in the season. They're going to start out the season next week. That's the 14th of February. They're going to be at Abilene Christian down in Texas. And then they'll be able to go up to Portland. They'll be at San Jose State. They play a series against Washington.
That'd be awesome.
And then they also play at BYU. And those are just the first couple of series into the season. So they're going to have
some really, really good games.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have the opportunity to prove what they're going to be able to do this season early on in the season as well.
And that gives them an opportunity to set the tone high. I mean, playing great competition like Portland, Washington, BYU early in the season helps you be able to see where your team is at against competitive teams. As they go forward facing GCU, who's obviously picked first every year to finish in the WAC, and good schools like that in baseball, then they're able to adjust kind of their strategies and be able to use, like, for example, Mick Madsen, who hit really well, 382 batting percentage in conference play. That's probably he didn't hit as well in non-conference play because they're playing amazing teams in the non-conference. Great pitchers, or they're also playing great fielders, etc. So they're able to get their standard and level of competition high. They should be playing, this level of competition the entire year, and they're starting out by playing above, so it helps them not play down.
Yeah. What I'm excited to see is what senior Cade Polson can do this season for the Wolverines. All right, Cade Polson, he's had some good seasons behind him, and now that he's a senior, he's going to be able to step up and really show out for the Wolverines this season. For me, I think my expectation is at least jump up one more spot. They took 7th last year, take 6th this year. All right, obviously.
So they're predicted 8th now. You think they'll go to 6th? That's your expectation?
Yeah, I think they'll go to 6th.
Okay.
I think
so not jump from 8th to 7th, but
we can't set the expectations too high because we know that this baseball team has struggled in the past. Obviously, they're gonna have their struggles this season. They're not gonna come out and just be bad news bears and just.
They better not be, otherwise we're gonna have to go talk to them.
They're gonna go roll people, but they just need to continue to, win. So the way that winning works is like you start out losing big, then you lose close, then you start winning close, and then you win big.
Yeah. So where are they now in that spectrum?
I would say they're on the verge of losing close
and winning close, or losing big, losing close.
Losing close, winning close. There's going to be some games. It's just like this basketball team where there's going to be some games that are going to be so close. They could have won probably 6 games this season.
Well, they've lost 7 with 5 points or less.
Exactly. And so that's what's going to be like for this baseball team. They're going to lose a lot of close games. They're going to win a couple close games.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's going to go until they continue to build this program.
Yeah. All right, jumping into our final segment of today. We didn't do bold predictions on Monday, as we did Know the Foe, Seattle U edition. But today we're going to do our bold predictions for this coming week, just as we always do on Wednesdays. You know, I like Wednesdays a lot.
Yeah,
we do the show a little later in the afternoon. I'm awake. I can think.
A little bit more energy up in here.
100% just had my 2 Dr. Peppers for the day. My 2 Dr. Peppers before 3. Okay, well, I'll start off with my bold predictions. You know, we've been struggling with our bold predictions, but that's the point. They're meant to be bold.
We are still over.
Well, this week I'm going to get mine right.
Big
and
fat zeros.
It's a bold
He
prediction.
says that every week, but yet still big goose egg.
UVU men's and women's basketball will both win this week against Seattle.
It's bold.
It's very bold, considering that UVU
Lost by 30 at
by
Seattle.
30 at Seattle, and now they're playing them at home. I think they'll have the home court advantage. They've had this 10 days off to be able to take a break, relax, get some confidence back in their game. Same with the women's. Use that break, get their shots back. Dan Nielsen took them on a 5-0 run to start WAC play. They've dropped 3, but they're going to get back.
All right.
And UVU men's and women's
Both
hoops
teams.
will win both of their games this Saturday.
And is this a foreshadowing of what could be in the WAC basketball tournament? Because right now, if the WAC basketball tournament were to start now, UVU would be matched up with Seattle.
And that's a
in
tough
Vegas.
matchup for them. Didn't perform very well in Seattle. Obviously, Vegas is a neutral court, neutral location, and anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
It is Vegas, baby. But I do think this is a good test to see where they are again in WAC play.
Right.
So it is a matchup that we could see. They're both the 3 and 6 seed right now.
Yeah. All right, my bold prediction. I'm going to switch it up in honor of the softball season starting. I'm going to go with our Lady Wolverines down in Mexico. I will say that the women's softball team is going to win both of their Thursday games. All right, both of them. They play against George Washington in the first game. It's like 2:30 p.m. And then they play against Oregon later in the evening around 7 p.m. So they're going to win both of those games, and you can check to see if I'm right. As long as you subscribe to Flow Sports Softball, watch both those games, and you'll see that, you know, I one up Jarod over here. I really honestly hope that both basketball teams win.
They better win.
And that would be okay with me if they do.
Joe,
Obviously.
what bold predictions you have for this week?
I believe that Utah Valley will win because they need to.
All right.
All
There we go.
sports
Blind faith. Blind faith.
Blind faith, all UVU sports will win because they need to.
this week.
I'll take that any
That's
day.
bold.
That's beautiful.
We'll see
Trusting Joe, I'll take it.
if Joe nails it.
If you guys have any bold predictions you'd like to send in to us, please send them in using the hashtag ProtectTheDen or hashtag PTD. And interact with us on Twitter, Instagram, social media, YouTube comments, podcast comments.
All
And
the above.
let us know what your bold
Like,
predictions are going
subscribe.
forward.
Rate 5 stars.
Or 3 stars if you hate it.
5 stars only.
All right, we'll give you our headlines one more time. Men's basketball, Mark Madsen has announced the transfer of guard Colby Leifson from BYU to UVU. He'll sit out the remainder of the 2019-2020 basketball season, but should be good to go for UVU next fall. Men's basketball, UVU hosts Seattle this Saturday, the 8th at 2 p.m. in the UCCU Center. No streaming it, unless you absolutely have to, on the WAC Digital Network. But we want you there in the UCCU Center, 5,000
So
plus
we
for
can
attendance.
protect the den.
100%.
Absolutely. All right, baseball. Mick Madsen has been named to the preseason All-WAC team.
Big time.
Led the team at the
Big
plate last year,
time.
hitting .352 in conference. That's a great batting average to have, .352 in conference. Good job, Mick Madsen, and we're excited to see these Wolverines play.
Softball kicks off the season tomorrow in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, in the Puerto Vallarta Challenge. Brice has predicted very boldly they will win both their games tomorrow against George Washington and Oregon, and you can catch those on flowsoftball.com. They will play as well on Friday against Nevada and Saturday against Long Beach State.
Absolutely. Wrestling lost a close match against North Dakota State University, 20-15.
Brutal loss.
Yep, that sucks. Last week's Big 12 Conference Wrestler of the Week, and 14th ranked Taylor Lamont recorded another upset victory for the Wolverines by knocking off number 7 Cam Sakura.
It's no longer an upset if he's winning all of them.
That's what I'm saying. No longer an upset. Rank him higher.
Taylor,
Obviously.
Keep it up, man. Men's soccer, which is, of course, the real UVU football team. Let's go. Their head coach, Greg Moss, has announced 2 more signings for the 2020 season. Eric Lyons, a St. Mary's College transfer, and Shea Wirt have both signed national letters of intent. Today's signing day.
National Signing Day.
Let's go.
It is a national holiday.
It really is.
I hope it is.
Should we go get pizza after this to celebrate, or burgers?
Sushi.
I can't afford sushi.
All right.
I'm not the biggest sushi fan. Oh, yes. It's also Black History Month.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is coming up. Anyways, continuing with men's football. About Eric Lyons, Coach Moss said Eric is a skillful defender with tremendous athleticism, and he is a determined and proven winner. You know, this winning part really is needed here at UVU because St. Mary's, they were the only undefeated team last year in the nation in Division 1.
Absolutely.
And so, obviously, Eric has proven that he can win big-time games. Wirt is a 6'2" goalkeeper from Overland Park, Kansas. Now, we know, Joe, you know especially, that Brice, he loves Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
I love Kansas.
A little too much sometimes.
You can't be too much.
Not enough? Not enough.
Dude, Super Bowl champs. 6'2" goalkeeper. He was the 5A Kansas State goalkeeper of the year. So big pickups for UVU.
Absolutely. And actually, there is another headline that I like to throw in.
Of course.
Men's hockey, UVU men's hockey plays this weekend in the Mountain West tournament.
Yeah.
They have games just depending. It is a tournament, so it depends. They will play this weekend, and Jarod and I will actually be on the call for their games this weekend as well as the championship game Saturday. That's going to be at 3:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So tune into the championship game. Maybe the UVU Wolverines hockey team will be in the championship game for that.
Their first game is actually tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. They take on Providence.
All right, 4:30 p.m. tomorrow.
You can see that on the UVU hockey YouTube page. We'll be live streaming there, and there'll be updates as well on all social media.
We thank you for joining Protect the Den today. Wherever you listen, watch, make sure you like, subscribe, leave comments, and rate us 5 stars.
Or 4 stars, or 3 stars, but
5 stars only.
Brice expects the best, and he deserves the best because he's amazing. We also want to thank Joseph Trujillo for his executive production today and all of the work that he does for us, as well as Motherwell International. We're very grateful for our association with them. Wherever you are, protect the den.